Hey guys, good evening to everyone and thank you so much for joining. So in the last class, we discussed about classification of IP address, what is IP address, what are the different types of versions of the IP address we have. Then also we have discussed about what is public IP, what is private IP, and whenever any security incident or alert we received, how can we identify whether it is an internal attack or insider threat or else external attack. So that's all about external yesterday topic. Today we are going to discuss about new topic. It's a very important topic. So that is ports and protocols. So interview point of view, this is very important. Okay. So ports and protocols, next topic. So first we can see what is port. And next we can see what are the different types of ports and which ports are better in the organization level. Later we can see about what is protocol. And next we can see protocol associated with each and every port number. Okay, so that is the agenda for today class. Then tomorrow we can discuss about static IP, drawbacks of static IP. Then we can discuss about what is dynamic IP and what is DHCP. So today agenda is what is port, what is protocol, what are the different types of ports we have, and which ports are better always in the organization level and also security point of view. Finally, we can see couple of ports associated with each and every protocol. So that is the agenda. So first of all, port. So what is meant by port? So port is nothing but it's a software defined number. It is a number basically. It is also associated to a network protocol. Okay, for every protocol, we will assign one port number. Okay, it is software defined number. It is associated to each and every network protocol. So that is nothing port. And why we will leave this port? Mainly for transmitting and receiving the data. And also for communication purpose between two devices. Main importance of the port, mainly for transmitting and receiving the data. So that is nothing but communication, right? So communication purpose between two devices. So if you don't open the port, then we cannot communicate. Always port we have to open. Using that port only we can communicate. Okay, how we can define this port? It is a software defined number associated to network protocol. Okay, full stop. It is used to transmitting the data and also receiving the data for communication purpose. Okay, so mainly for transmitting and receiving the data, that is nothing but communication. So it's a basically number. It's a number. That number we have to use communication purpose. Okay, if port is open, then only communication will happen between two devices. So I will add one more thing in this particular definition. Communication purpose between two devices. The two devices may be so computer and server, computer and application, computer and database, and so on. So that is nothing but port, mainly for communication purpose. Purpose is communication. So there are two types of ports normally in the organization level, two types of ports, port types. So port type is two types of ports. First port is open port. Second one is closed port. So these are the two types. Now, which one is better? Out of these two ports, which port is better? Okay, anyone can explain which port is better? Open ports are better or closed ports are better? If open ports are better, what is the reason? If closed ports are better, what is the reason? Anyone?
Closed ports are better, sir, always.
Why?
Because if a connection is, if the port is closed, closed means there will not be connection between the client and the server. and it will not be easy for the attacker to what is going on in the organization, so that he can.
Okay, example for suppose you are a part of MySQL, but MySQL is a part of database, Microsoft SQL database. So if you want to communicate database, we have to open 1433. In that scenario,
If it is business oriented, means we should access, sir. If it is non-business oriented, if some threat, we assume that it is a threat, means then we have to close it. It will be better.
okay, that's almost correct, but something we have to elaborate. Yeah, you are right. First of all, may I know who is the answer? Who answered this one?
Gafur,
Abdul.
sir.
Okay,
Yes.
Abdul. Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, thank you so much, Abdul. Yeah, so yes, whatever Gafur is said, it's correct. Always closed reports are better. Why? Because if any port is open, so we have more chances based on permutations and combinations. Attacker will enter into that particular port number into the organization level. So that's why always closed reports are better. Now I raised one more query. Once Gapur is answered, what is that query I raised? In case for MySQL database, nothing but Microsoft SQL database, if you want to access the database, we have to open the port number 1433. So obviously, database team, they have to open the port number. If that port is closed, then what we have to do? In that scenario, obviously it's a business need. If you want to open the port 1433, okay, then they have to raise a firewall request. Firewall request. Always these ports we will open in the firewall. So first of all, we have to close always all the ports. Whenever any DevOps team or application development team or product development team, storage or backup team, or database team or network engineer team. So couple of people, they need port open. In that scenario, it's a business need. Whatever Gapur said, that's right. It's a business need. So whatever that particular port is closed, in that scenario, what they have to do? So they have to raise a firewall template. First of all, they have to fill the template. So firewall template, in that firewall template, normally, we will write what is source, what is destination, what is source IP, what is destination IP, and what is the protocol, and what is the port number. So these 6 information they have to fill. Once again, I'm repeating: source zone, destination zone, source port, destination port, and finally protocol. So they have to fill this particular information. So once they fill that particular information firewall template, it's Excel sheet basically. Firewall template means Excel sheet, most of the cases. Then they have to go and they have to raise a ticket in the ticketing tool. Okay. So whenever you are placing any request for tracking and auditing purpose, always we have to raise a ticket in the ticketing tool. Okay, that is for tracking and auditing purpose as well. Not only for that, evidence also. In future, something will go wrong. In that scenario, we'll go and we will see. So what is the port it's open and who is open and who is provided the approval. Okay, so now, so respective team, they filled the respective firewall template, and after that, so they created one of the ticketing ticket in the ticketing tool. So later they will assign to firewall team. So then firewall team also, there are 2 types of people will be there. One is called approver. Second one person is called implementation guy. Approver will do risk assessment and risk analysis. So whatever application development team, they raised the request, whatever product development team, they raised the request related to port, whatever DevOps team or TechOps team or data science team, or maybe product development team or storage or backup or Windows or Linux and so on. So whenever they will raise the request, so approver is very, very, very crucial role. Is the accountability and responsibility. So that approval guy will go and he will see what is the port number, respect to team it is requested. So first of all, whether it is internal to internal communication or internal to external communication, they will validate all these. Who will validate all this? Whoever is providing the approval part. So firewall approval guy, he will validate all these. So how he will validate? Example port 80. Then he will take 80. Then he will go and he will check port 80. What is the risk is involved? Okay. So in that scenario, if risk is available, and then he will go back to the respective team. So whatever port you have mentioned, so this is completely as per risk. It's a dangerous to open into the organization level. So we need business justification from your side. Then only I will approve the ticket. First, he will reject that particular ticket and he will put the comment stating that, so this is a risky port. I cannot open the port, and he will reject that particular request. So then finally, he will put one more comment. If you will provide the business justification and you are the responsible and accountable. As per RACI, so RACI means responsible, accountable, okay, and so on. So responsible and accountable. So now they have to take care. Who will take care in this scenario? That may application development team, product development team, or DevOps, or Windows, or Linux, or storage, or backup, and so on. So once firewall approval guy, he will approve the respective ticket based on the business justification. Then firewall implementation guy, he will implement in the firewall. Nothing but he will go to the policies or rules tab, and he will select the source zone, destination zone, source port, destination port, and protocol. And the action he will define allow. So finally, that port will be opened. So this is the process we have to follow. Crucial role is firewall approval guy. It's very important. So based on his approval only, implementation guy will implement. I'm repeating once again, before going to the business justification. Okay, in case ports are open, what we have to do, I will explain and I will write everything. So first of all, what is the interview question? Which ports are better from the organization point of view? So it's interview question. So answer is closed ports are better. Why? Because if ports are open, attacker, if dangerous ports are open, if dangerous ports are open, if dangerous ports are open, attacker will do port scanning mechanism, and he will use tactics as a port scanning mechanism. And he will try to enter into organization level. So that's why always closed ports are better. Give me 1 second, guys. Apologies. One second. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So that's why closed ports are better. So if any dangerous ports, meaning here, couple of ports like a server message block, port number 445, that is very dangerous port. and also port number 80, HTTP, that is also dangerous ports. So whenever these type of ports, if end user is asking to open for communication purpose, in that scenario, we need business justification from the respective team. Okay, so always closed ports are better from security point of view. So the reason behind this one is attacker will use one of the scanning mechanism that is called port scanning. So he will open the port. I mean, he will take the IP address or host name of the computer. Then he will see what all the ports are open. Then according to that particular port, then he will enter into the organization level. So he'll use port scanning mechanism or phishing emails and couple of other tactics. We have more than 14 tactics we have. According to that one, he will enter into the organization level. So that's why always closed ports are better. Okay. For business purpose now, if you want to open the port, then what we have to do? So next thing is for business purpose, if end user wants to open the port in system, what we have to do? What they have to do otherwise? What they have to do? In that scenario, they have to fill the firewall template, and also they need to provide business justification. They have to specify the source zone, destination zone, source IP, destination IP, port number. So this information they have to fill, and action is all obviously, because if are allowing the action in the firewall, then only communication will happen. So in this scenario, normally for business purpose, if end user wants to open the port in the system, what they have to do? So obviously they have to fill the firewall template, and they have to raise ticket in the ticketing tool. So there are different types of ticketing tools we have. One is ServiceNow. It is very famous all over the worldwide. So next one is Jira. Now it is becoming very famous. So next one is BST, Remedy. So HP, they have one tool is there. There are a lot of other tools available. But most importantly, ServiceNow, it's a very, very popular one. So ServiceNow also called it as Snow. Snow or any other tool in their organization level, whatever ticketing tool they are using. So they have to go on, they have to raise the respective ticket. Okay. So firewall template they have to fill, and they have to raise the ticket in the ticketing tool, and they have to assign to which team? Firewall team, for opening the port in firewall. They means here it's not only single one, so multiple teams. So they means here, so couple of teams. So example, so DevOps team or TechOps team or development team or testing team or storage team or backup team or database team or server team, and so on. Whoever need. So they have to rise. They means here all these teams. So respective teams, they have to raise the ticket. Okay. Then they have to provide the information related to source, destination, source port, destination port, source IP, destination IP, and finally action is allowed. So they have to fill what are the information they have to fill: source zone, destination zone, next one source IP, destination IP, port number, and protocol. So this information normally they have to fill. For example, so team name also I'm keeping, team name. For example, we will see one of the example scenario. So team name is my MS SQL. It's one of the database team. Source zone, it is a trust. There are three different types of zones we have in the organization level. One is a trust, second one is untrust, third one is a DMZ or DMZ. It's entire question. So how many zones are there in the organization level as per network architecture diagram? So there are three zones. One is a trust, second one is untrust, third one is a DMZ or DMZ. So these are all the three different types of zones we have. Okay. So examples, source zone is a trust, destination zone also trust. Within the internal, they want to copy the data or maybe they want to open the port. So trust and trust, source IP is 10.10.10.1, destination IP is 10.10.10.2, because these two are private IPs. So that is the reason whenever any example will come related to IP, I will always give 10 series or maybe 172.16 series or 192.168 series, because these are all private IP address ranges. Port number, example 1433. This is the port number. Protocol may be TCP or UDP. So example TCP. So this is the way how normally they have to fill template. So they have to fill the template, and after that, they have to raise a request in the ticketing tool. Later, they have to go and they have to assign to respective team. That respective team is nothing but firewall team. They have to assign to firewall team. Now, firewall team, what they will do? So firewall team will review the request. Whatever team is raised port request. So also they will do risk assessment. So once again, firewall team will approval guy, he will do risk assessment. Firewall approval guy, I will put firewall approval team. Firewall approval team will review the request, whatever team is raised related to port request. Also, they will do risk assessment. Risk assessment is nothing but in case if that portal is open, so what is the impact to the organization level? So that risk assessment normally they will do. Okay, so they will do risk assessment. Finally, they will approve the request. Sometimes they will do rejection also. In that scenario, business justification is required from the director of the whoever is raised. So example, maybe you raised the request, you are a part of application development team, and your director, whoever you are support, I mean, you are reporting, whoever you are reporting. Okay, so that guy has to provide the business justification. Then only, so it is accepted. In that scenario, responsible and accountable is the director of the application development team. So this also will happen sometimes. So finally, firewall implementation team will implement or create policy or role in the firewall level. So finally, he is able to access in between 10.10.10.1 and 10.10.10.2 1433. Then he can do database configuration. So this is the way how the process. Do you know what? So for dedicated to firewall request also, not request, firewall approval also, lot of vacancies are there. Dedicated to firewall approval. So there are a lot of vacancies are available. Example, Vodafone, example, AT&T, or example, Dell, example, EMC Square. So example, Ericsson. So there are a couple of companies, they are recruiting dedicated to firewall approval also. So that guy has to experience in risk assessment, risk analysis, and what is the business impact analysis. Then only they will take. Okay, but anyway, additionally, they have to experience in firewall as well, how the firewall will work, what are the different types of zones normally we will configure, what are the different types of policies we will configure, and so on. Okay, so firewall implementation team will implement or create policy in the firewall level. So finally, whatever team they raise the request related to opening the port, they are able to access the port. So that is about how to raise a request. Now coming to, so in the organization level, every system contains how many ports? So every system contains 0 to 65,535. That is nothing but overall 65,536. So every system, including your laptop, so it will contain so 0 to 65,535 ports. That means, so it is starting with 0. So altogether 65,536. So in that one, how many well-known ports are there? Well-known means regularly we will use the ports. That is called well-known ports. 0 to 1023. So that is nothing but 1024. So these are all well-known ports. So every system contains 0 to 65,535 total number of ports. In that one, well-known ports are 0 to 1023. So those ports we will use regularly. Okay. So every system contains total number of ports. I'll put here. So then filtered ports. What is meant by filtered ports? Filtered ports meaning here in firewall level, we'll whitelist or blocklist couple of ports. That is called filtered ports. Filtering meaning here. So whatever, if you want to whitelist or blocklist. Okay. So filtering is different ways we can define. Sometime time based. Last 24 hours time based. Last 7 days time based. Last 1 hour time based. We can filter out in such a way or otherwise. We can filter based on the severity, like a critical or high or medium or low and so on. Example, in Excel sheet, we have data filter. So why will use data filter option? To filter out, to see what are the different types of severity or time based or importance and so on. According to that, we can filter out. Okay. So filtered ports in the organization level, where we can implement in the firewall level, we will implement what are all the ports should be open, and also closed. Nothing but whitelisted and blocklisted. So we discussed already. Whitelisted means allowing, blocklist means blocking. So that one we can do under the filtered ports. So whenever any business needs, in that situation, we will filter the ports in the firewall level. That is called filtered ports. Okay. So that's all about overall ports. Now coming to protocol. What is meant by protocol?
Sir, how the attacker will know ports are open or not, sir?
So we have one of the tool name is there. So tomorrow I will explain Nmap, Kali Linux. There are a lot of other ports. So one thing is, obviously you should know the IP address of the device. How will come to the IP address of the device? We use a trial and error method. So otherwise you can know host name, google.com. In google.com, what are the ports are open? How will come to know? So example, we have to go to the Nmap tool and we have to see what are the ports are open. Tomorrow I will show you that one, how to check and how to do the port scanning.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
And RK, sir, one question from my side. You said that team size and source zone, right? So what is our role in between them?
I'm sorry, could you please repeat?
You said that a source zone, destination zone, and source IP. So what is our role in between them? And do we need to prepare that or like for the firewall implementation? and how is it possible for us?
No, in this scenario, basically, you should aware of everything. But sometimes because I'm giving training not only just for SOC operations. So
Right.
this training contains, okay, so architect level training I'm giving. Whatever knowledge I have, I'm sharing everything with you. In that scenario, so example, maybe you are putting 7 years of experience. So maybe in that particular situation, endpoint security controls you should know, firewall, how it will operate, what are the different types of zones are there, what is cyber security tools, how application security will work, how cloud security will work, what is information security of GRC, what is vulnerability assessment on the server side. If you know everything, then only you will become architect. Otherwise, forget about this one. Maybe example, in Wipro or maybe in Cognizant or maybe in Ericsson or maybe in Infosys and so on, they have dedicated vacancy there in the firewall level. In that scenario, my training is sufficient to crack the firewall interview as well.
Fine, sir. Thank you.
Clear?
Yeah, clear, sir. Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, coming to protocol. So general meaning of protocol. So politicians, they will use regularly. It's a rule. It's a rule, basically. Protocol is nothing but a rule. Here also same thing. Set of rules and regulations for transmitting data between computers or systems. Set of rules and regulations for transmitting data and also receiving also we can put. So transmitting and also receiving data, we'll use a protocol. Okay, so now we can go and see. So what are the protocol associated with the port number? So it's very, 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 very important topic now, whatever we are going to discuss. So I am dividing the 3 columns. One is protocol. Second one is importance. Third one is port number. So protocol, importance of the protocol and port number. So now we can go and we can see what is the protocol and what is the importance of the protocol and port number. Couple of protocols already we have seen under the abbreviations and also definitions. So I will repeat couple of protocols once again. So first protocol is FTP. So FTP full form is file transfer protocol. Okay. File transfer protocol. So what is the importance of this FTP? So FTP importance is, okay, so transferring of the files from one system to another system. Transferring of the files. So that is the importance of FTP. Then what is the port number? So port number is 20 and 21. So computers, so consider maybe 2 laptops. From one laptop, you are transferring data to another laptop. In that scenario, 20 we have to open from the one laptop side, another side 21. So example, server and client. So 20 and 21. So second one is SFTP, Secure File Transfer Protocol. That is also same as it is SFTP. So S means Secure File Transfer Protocol. So here also same as this, transferring of the files between the 2 systems. Same port number 20 and 21. It's an entire question also. What is the difference between FTP and SFTP? So FTP will use a without secure connection. It's not a secure connection. There is no encryption basically. But SFTP has secure. So always SFTP we have to use whenever if you want to transfer the protocols. Sorry, not protocols, files. Next one is,
Sir, sorry for interrupting you. And SFTP support number is 22, right? Double
No,
two
no,
two
no,
two.
no, no,
Not?
no, 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 no. SSH port number is 22. Secure shell. So 2021 only. So otherwise I will re-verify and I'll come back by tomorrow.
Fine, sir.
Secure shell, SSH, secure shell. So secure shell, why we will use this secure shell? So this already we discussed. To log into Unix operating systems. So that may be Red Hat Linux, RHEL, CentOS, or Debian, or Ubuntu, or Docker, or container, and so on. In that scenario, we have to use SSH. So secure shell, port number 22. So this is like a virtual terminal. I have shown you already, I think, at the time of definitions. Using PuTTY, we have to open the secure shell. So here already I opened the PuTTY. You can see here PuTTY. So here we have to enter the respective. So this secure shell basically. So host name or IP address we have to enter. And finally, so example 10.10.10.10.1, that is Linux server IP address. And port number by default it is 22. Then we have to click on open. Okay. So then it will open into the respective server. But in case if we need the more way of authentication mechanism, so we have to use authentication also. Every user has to generate one of the private key. So that private key where we will keep normally. So under SSH, so we have auth. Auth is nothing but authentication. And at the time of creating the user role, normally one of the file they will create. That file is nothing but key or password. So I am part of Linux team, and today Raj is joining in my team, or otherwise someone Suresh is joining in DevOps team, or Mahesh is joining in the TechOps team. So DevOps team also they want to use Linux server, TechOps team also they want to use Linux server. Even another guy also wants to access the Linux server. So instead of giving the username and password, it's better to use one more additional authentication mechanism, that is nothing but generating the private key and giving that particular private key to the end user. This is more way of secure way of communication. So for every end user has one dedicated user file will be there or key will be there. Whenever they are trying to enter into their respective Unix operating system using SSH, they have to enter the host IP, and after opening, after entering the host IP, they have to enter authentication key as well. So then finally they have to enter their username and password. Example username is Suresh, password is password at the rate of 123. Finally, they will enter into the Linux server. Okay, that is the security best practice. Okay, so some of the people they will ask, one of the Linux server, if you want to implement a security, what are the different types of things you will implement? It's one of the interview question. I'm repeating once again. For one of the Linux server, if you want to implement security, or one of the Windows server, if you want to implement security, what are the couple of things you will validate or you will implement? Okay, one thing is obviously username, password. Third thing is authentication key. These three. Additionally, hardening benchmark that we can see later, and also logging and monitoring part. So logs we have to log it. Those logs we have to integrate to SIEM tool. Additionally, we have to implement role-based access control, RBAC. RBAC means role-based access control. According to the role of the user, example DevOps or TechOps or security or Windows or Linux or machine learning team or data science team, according to their role, what level of the access is required to enter into the Linux server. So that is nothing but role-based access control. So in such a couple of security controls we have to implement to the Linux server that we can see separately under the vulnerability management. So secure shell I will use to log into Unix operating systems. So what are the example Unix operating systems we have? As I said, a Red Hat. So RHEL, Red Hat, okay, Enterprise Linux, CentOS. Next one is Debian, Ubuntu, Docker, container, all these. Okay, not only this one, there are a lot of other. So port number 22, just now we have seen. Okay, so that is our SSH. Next one is SCP, secure copy. Secure copy, copying of the files. Normally we'll SCP, port number 22. Secure copy, SCP. Okay, so full form is secure copy. Sorry, I have entered here. Secure copy. And here copying of the files. Within secure manner. So that is SCP. Next one is Telnet. So telecommunication network. So why will it this Telnet? From one server, if you want to log into another server, that is also mainly for Unix operating system. From one Unix server, if you want to log into another Unix server, so we have to use Telnet. Telnet along with port number we have to specify. Telnet and IP address of the Unix server along with port number we have to specify. Then we can log into another server. First we have to log into one Linux server. From there we have to give Telnet command and IP address of the respective another server and port number. So nothing but 23. So then we are able to log into the respect to another server. Okay. So log into one Unix server to another Unix server. So in that scenario, we will use this Telnet. So port number 23. Okay. So now we have Windows level. It is in the Unix level. Unix level login from one server to another server. We will use Telnet. If it is Windows operating system, we will use RDP, remote desktop connection 3389. That we can discuss later. So next one is SMTP. So it's very important. It's interview question. Interview question, this one, SMTP. It's very important. So simple mail transfer protocol. So obviously, why we use this simple mail transfer protocol? So for sending the mails and receiving the mails. For sending the mails and receiving the mails, we'll use SMTP port number 25. So SMTP server also called as email server, nothing but sending the mails and receiving the mails. Then also we can use for UCS server another name, and unified communication. UCS means unified communication. Exchange server or Gmail server or in the organization level. So most popular one, almost if we're considering 100 companies, 90 companies, they are using Microsoft Office 365 or Outlook. It's a very popular one. So another name also I'm keeping here itself, or email server or UCS or Exchange. We have separate topic is there. All the servers there also we can discuss about this topic. Okay, so that is about SMTP port number 25, and every email contains couple of important parameters that we can see later. Okay, so next one is a DNS. DNS, so it's a domain name server. So importance is resolving the IP address into domain name or domain name into IP address. resolving the domain name into IP address or vice versa. So nothing but IP address into domain name. So for this one, we have to create couple of DNS records. Couple of DNS records we have to configure to resolve that particular IP address. Resolve is nothing but converting. Another name is converting. Okay. So port number is 53. 53, it's one of the important interview question, this one also. So next one is a DHCP, a dynamic host configuration protocol. So why we use the DHCP? To assign the IP address dynamically some specific period of the time. That time we'll call it lease time, leased time. It's not permanent one. So leasing of the rent, leasing of the house. What is meant by that? What is meant by that? Or leasing of the land. What is meant by that? Leasing of the shop. So specific period time we will lease for rent and will pay for money. In this similar way, DHCP server will allocate IP address dynamically or automatically for specific period of the time. So that time we'll call it the lease time. Okay. So how it will allocate dynamically or automatically? So it will use a concept called DORA, D-O-R-A, DORA, that we can see later. So dynamically or automatically, it will assign the IP address to end user systems. End user systems. Okay. Using DORA process. So coming to port number 67 and 68. 67 and 68. So 67 is client and 68 from server side. So this is also one of the important protocol from the interview point of view. Next one is HTTP. So you know already very well because regularly we use this one. Hypertext transfer protocol. Hypertext transfer protocol. So this for web browsing purpose we'll use. Web browsing purpose. Port number 80. It is not a secured one. This is not a security protocol. It is not secured protocol or secure protocol. Okay. So if you are using the HTTP, then more chances are there attacker is enter into the organization level. Why? Because it will not provide encryption, it will not provide authenticity, it will not provide integrity, it will not provide non-repudiation. Okay, so that we can see once again under cryptography separate topic is there. What is meant by authenticity? Authenticity means providing the username and passwords. Okay, so next one is HTTPS. HTTPS. So hypertext transfer protocol secure. Hypertext transfer protocol secure. So this also will use web browsing. Difference between these two, it's a secured one because it will provide authenticity, it will provide integrity, it will provide encryption, it will provide non-repudiation. It is secure protocol. It will provide encryption, authenticity, non-repudiation, and integrity. So encryption you know already. Here it will encrypt the data using some of the keys that may be private key or public key. That is called encryption. Providing the password, whatever data we are sending, that is called encryption. Authenticity meaning here. So what is the identity of the person who is accessing what? Traceability of the user, that is called authenticity. Non-repudiation. So what is the trustworthy of the data? Okay, so non-repudiation and also integrity, secrecy of the data. So these two will fall under hand in hand, non-repudiation and integrity. So port number is obviously it's a 443. Okay. Next one is SSL TLS. So SSL is secure socket layer. TLS is transport layer security. Secure socket layer. So TLS, transport layer security. So that is the full form. So HTTPS will use SSL TLS certificates. So that's why it will provide encryption. So this is actual SSL TLS. It's a part of HTTPS. It is part of HTTPS, or otherwise it is a subset of HTTPS, or it is subset of HTTPS. So it will provide same thing. It will provide encryption, authentication, okay, non-reputation and integrity. So port number, same thing, 443. So here I think someone was asking 3 or 4 days back, what is the difference between SSL and TLS, and what are the versions in SSL and TLS? So secure socket layer, it's an outdated one. It will use a weak ciphers. So versions are SSL 1.0, 2.0 and 3.0. TLS is a transport layer security. In TLS also 1.0 and 1.1, it will use a weak ciphers. Current version of the TLS, whatever we are using the organization level, are security best practices, TLS 1.2 and 1.3. So that is the latest one. So this one, once again, we can discuss under cryptography concept. Separate topic is there. There we can discuss once again. So port number 443. So next one is NTP, network time protocol. Network time protocol. It's basically server network time protocol. So why will this network time protocol? So name itself, it is suggesting that it's a time protocol. That means if you are using network time protocol server, it will sync up with our local time. Our local time right now, it is so July 7th, not July 7th, sorry, July 6th, 2022, 2009. So that is the local time. So we are following IST time zone, that is Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata at IST. In the similar way, Central time zone, East Coast time zone, Asia Pacific time zone. So GMT, Greenwich time zone. So there are a couple of time zones we have. So whenever we are installing the respective tool, we have to always sync up with this network time protocol server. So this network time protocol server, what it will do, it will sync up with local time in the tool. So that's why we have to use this NTP protocol. Okay. So it will sync up with local time of the zone. So that zone may be example. So India, it is IST, India Standard Time. So UK, it's a Greenwich time, GMT. So Central Time, CET. So next one we have East Coast time. So there are other time zones as well. Okay. So these are all some of the examples. So port number is 123. It's important interview question. What is network time protocol? Port number. So it's one of the important one. So next one is we have POP3. POP3. So nothing but post office protocol. Post office protocol. So it is for delivery purpose. Delivery of the messages we'll use. Why will use this post office? For communication purpose. So here also delivery of the messages. So 3 means it's a version number and port number is 110. Okay. So next one is IMAP. So internet message access protocol. So this also same thing, delivery of the message. So port number is 143. Okay. So next one is net bias. Net bias, network bias input output system, full form. Network bias input and output system. So for booting of the laptop, so normally we'll use this one. So initial configuration or booting or loading of the files. Loader purpose we'll use this particular net bias. So port number 137 to 139. So nothing but 137, 138 and 139. So these are all the port numbers, net bias, network bias input and output system. So next one is Kerberos. Kerberos, it's for mutual authentication. Mutual authentication. It will use a ticket granting system. Do you think that after entering the username and password in the organization level, directly they will go and they will access to the laptop? No. They have backend domain controller. In case Kerberos protocol, if they implemented, it will follow ticket granting system. Backend they have ticket granting server and also ticket granting ticket. So one ticket number will be generated, nothing but it's like a token if it is application level. And using that particular token only, they have to access to the laptop. So it's a Kerberos. Normally, who will do this configuration? These configurations will be done by Windows team. Windows team is aware of what is Kerberos, what is NTLM authentication. So what is radius server authentication mechanism and how to configure, what is TGT server and what is TGT key and so on. It's not part of our thing is just what is Kerberos. It's for mutual authentication and whatever the backend process they will use. They will use ticket granting server and ticket granting ticket systems and so on. So it's for mutual authentication. So obviously Kerberos, so importance also mutual authentication. And port number is 88. So next one is RDP. RDP. So Telnet, it's for telecommunication network. If you want to log in from one Unix server to another Unix server, we'll use Telnet. In the similar way, if you want to log in from one Windows system, that may be Windows laptop, like Windows 7.0, 8.1, or 9.0, or 10.0, or 11. Something. Or maybe Windows servers like, so 2008, 2012, 2016, 2018, 2019, and 2021. So from one Windows server or one Windows laptop or one Windows workstation, if you want to log into another Windows system, we will use this RDP, remote desktop. So how we can check that one? Go to search button of the respective Windows and you can type here remote. Automatically remote desktop connection will come and click on that remote desktop connection and it will open RDP. Here you have to enter whatever laptop you want to log in or whatever server you want to log in or whatever workstation you want to log in. You have to enter either IP address of the device or else you can enter the computer name or host name of the device. Then you can click on connect button. So here RDP also it will use SSL TLS certificates backend. So one window will come after opening this one. That is nothing but SSL TLS certificates it will use. We have to accept that one. Then only we have to be able to log into the respective whatever server you want to access. So this is called RDP. Port number for this one communication, we will use 3389.
The destination person has to accept, no, sir, in this case.
No, there is no need to accept. That is sheer screening of the share. That is different. So that is different. Just
Sir,
if
it
you
is
want,
same as any desk, sir.
yes, any desk it's completely sharing in between two devices. If you want to share something, in that scenario, we'll use any desk. That's correct.
But this is not same as that one, no, sir?
No, 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 it's not different. This is different. This is different.
Okay, sir.
Clear?
Yes.
Okay. So remote desktop. log into one Windows system to another Windows system. System in here, don't think only laptop, even it will be part of servers also. Okay. So port number 3389, it's one of the important interview question. So next one we have syslog. Syslog, system logging. So whatever logs it is collected, log is nothing but action. Log, our SAM tool, it is nothing but log collection, log analysis, log processing tool, you know already. Log is nothing but here, any computer recorded activity, any action employee is doing. So obviously, so what is the first thing employee will do? He will log into the system. So that time he will enter the username and password and he will click on the login button. So back end some logs will be generated. So that is also part of system logging only. So maybe he's accessing one of the application. Maybe he's configuring something. So configuration logs will be generated. So then CPU utilizations and RAM utilization. In that scenario, also health checkup related logs will be generated. So system logging, syslog, it's one of the favorite interview question because our tool is mainly SIM tool. So system logging, logging of the actions of the end user. Actions of the end user or else computer recorded activity. So 514, port number is 514. Okay. So this is regularly we will use to integrate the logs to our SIM tool. It's one of the log integration method. Integration meaning here, sending the logs from respect to log source to so SIM tool. Example, firewall logs we want to integrate it to SIM tool. In that scenario, we will use syslog server method. Example, you want to integrate router logs, we will use syslog server method. If you want to integrate load balancer logs, we will use syslog. If you want to integrate switch, we will use obviously syslog method. So syslog is one of the popular method to integrate logs to SIM tool. So 514. So next one is SNMP. So SNMP is nothing but simple network management protocol. So what is the simple network management protocol and where we have to enable this one? So this one we have to enable in the router or switch side. If are enabling this protocol, so what is the full form? Management protocol. So it will identify discovery of the devices in the network level, LAN level. So once we are enabling the SNMP in the router or switch, then finally it will discover total overall how many network devices are there. And also it can identify, so what is the respect to health checkup of the devices. Okay, so it will identify the inventory and also managing of all the network devices. So there are three different types of versions are there under SNMP. There are three different types of versions are there under SNMP. So SNMP version 1, SNMP version 2, and SNMP version 3. So difference between SNMP version 1, version 2, and version 3. SNMP 1 and SNMP 2, it will use a clear text. Okay, so but SNMP version 3 or community string, SNMP version 3, it will use encrypted text. So that is the difference. SNMP version 1 and version 2, it will use clear text or plain text. Clear text also called as a plain text. Nothing but without credentials or without key or without password. So port number 161. Okay. So next one we have LDAP. LDAP. So full form is lightweight discovery access protocol. Lightweight discovery access protocol. So why we use this lightweight access protocol? Mainly for Active Directory integrations. So Active Directory integration to security tools. It is indirectly Active Directory LDAP. So Active Directory integration to security tool, not only security tool, any tool that may be DevOps tool, that may be any other testing tools and so on. We have to integrate Active Directory. So port number is 389. Don't confuse in between RDP and LDAP. RDP is 3389, LDAP is 389. Next one is LDAPs. LDAPs. So lightweight discovery access protocol secure, similar like to HTTP and HTTPS in the similar same as this. So Active Directory integration, this is also, but it is secure manner. Active Directory integration to tool with a secure manner. So always we'll use LDAPs only. Port number 636. 636. So next one is SIP. SIP session initiation protocol. So what is meant by this one? Example, you are speaking with someone in the mobile. Okay, in that scenario, it will use SIP protocol. So whatever call it is connected to another person. So session initiated between you and the opposite person in the mobile. So it's a telecommunication protocol basically. So for session initiation purpose, we will use this protocol. Port number, there are two port numbers. So first of all, what is the importance? Session initiation between two users. So 5060 and 5061. So that is the port number. Next one is SMB, one of the dangerous protocol. Server message block. Messaging purpose, this one in the Windows, dedicated to apply to Windows. Messaging purpose in Windows operating system, Windows OS. Port number 445. It's one of the dangerous protocol. Using this one, ransomware attack will come. Server message block. So 2017 to till today, ransomware is one of the devastating, and also it's one of the dangerous attack. Okay, so it is devastating almost all the business across the universe. So next one is IPsec. IPsec, full form is IP security. So why will use this one? For VPN connections, remote VPN and site-to-site VPN. Site-to-site VPN. In that scenario, we will use this IPsec, port number 500. So what is meant by remote VPN? What is meant by site-to-site VPN? I will explain later in the firewall topic. So next one we have, I think, MS SQL. So just now we have seen, right? MS SQL. So full form is Microsoft. MS means M means micro, S means soft. SQL means structured query language. Structured query language. In SimTool also we'll use this structured query language, SQL language, query purpose. Query means nothing but asking a question. So example, something if you don't know, obviously we'll go Google and we will search it, right? So same thing. So we'll write the queries, especially into tables. So something if you want to implement in the tables point of view, that may be rows or columns. In that scenario, you'll use this structured query language. So they have some queries they have to write. Example, select star, insert into table, delete into table, update into table. All these are part of database. So one of the attack also there for us. It's one of the popular attack that is called SQL injection attack. So mainly for database purpose, we'll use this backing up the data or database backup. So port number is 1433. Okay. So these are all some of the important protocols you have to remember in the interview point of view. It's very, 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 very important. It's very important. Okay. So we are human beings. Obviously, we cannot remember 65,535. So out of that one, at least, I think we have to remember these important protocols. Not only for us, even Linux team, if they will go for interview, they will ask these protocols. VMware team, if they will go for interview, they will ask these interview questions. Even Windows team, if they will go for interviews, they will ask all these questions, port numbers along with protocols. So these two are very important. So what we discussed in the today overall, so we discussed about what is port. Port is nothing but it's a number. So we will use for transmitting and receiving. For every port, we will associate it with one protocol. So there are two types of ports. One is open ports and closed ports. Always closed ports are better. The reason behind this one is, so whenever any attacker, you will use the tactics and techniques and procedure like a TTPs. As per MITRE framework, using port scanning mechanism, then easily you will enter into the organization level. Okay, so that's why always closed ports are better. If you want to open the ports for business purpose, we have to use firewall template filling and creating the ticket in the ticketing tool, and we have to assign that particular ticket to so firewall team. Firewall approval guy, he will approve and he will do risk assessment and also business impact analysis. After that, he will approve it. And later, firewall implementation team, they will implement in the firewall level. So then we discussed about the protocol. Protocol is nothing but it's a rule. It is used for transmitting and receiving the data along with port number, mainly for communication. So we discussed about a couple of ports and protocols along with importance or usage of the protocol. So example, FTP, SFTP, SSH, SSL, secure copy, SMTP, DNS, DHCP, IMAP, POP3, NTP. Okay, so NetBIOS, so syslog, RDP, SIP, server message block, MS SQL, IPsec, so and so on. So each and every protocol along with port number, you have to remember. Nobody will ask what is the importance or usage, but you have to remember, okay, port along with protocol. I'm not sure how you will remember this one. So because these are all numbers, you will get confusion, I know very well. In case you are not able to remember this one, just you can practice 5 to 10 times. That's all. There is no other option. There is no other option. Easy way of how we have to remember this one. Just to practice.
Sir,
Okay.
For some protocols, there are two port numbers, no, sir.
port number 0, sir. Is there port number 0?
There is no port number 0. ICMP is there. It's one of the protocol. It's not 0, ICMP. So it is ICMP is a no port number. Basically, we should not say 0. Basically, no port number. So full form is Internet Control Message Protocol. Internet Control Message Protocol. This is also interview question. IMP interview question. Internet Control Message Protocol, no port number. Basically, it is a service. It is a service. So what is meant by it is service? So whenever, if you want to send a message, example, from my laptop, I want to see whether Google is accessible or not. So how can I check that one? Obviously, one is browser option. So we can go to browser and we can see whether that particular Google is working or not. Second option is, okay, we have to use command prompt. So I will go to command prompt now, and I will use a ping command, PING. Ping is nothing but for messaging purpose. Whatever WhatsApp you are sending the messages, whatever in Telegram or whatever in Facebook you are sending the messages, that messages in the software terminology will call the ping. Ping is nothing but sending the messages. So ping 8.8.8.8. 8.8.8.8, obviously it's a public IP address. It's not starting with a 10. It is not starting with 172.16. It is not starting with 192.168. But it is starting with 8.8.8.8. It's a public. It's a public DNS of the Google. Public means here anybody can access this one. Anybody can access this one. Now I am giving the enter. Now you can see from my laptop, it is reaching to the Google and response is coming back. So normally in the ping command ICMP it will use. In ping command ICMP will use, and whatever message we are getting reply from 8.8.8.8. So it is showing time along with bytes, 32 bytes, because 4 octa. Yesterday we discussed. TTL, time to live. IP packet, basically it is packet, it is sending 4 packets and 4 packets it is receiving from Google server. Nothing but Google server is responding back to us. In that scenario, 4 packets sending and 4 packets we are receiving. Obviously, percentage of the loss equal to 0%. 4 minus 4 by 100 into 100. Sorry, 4 minus 4 by 4 into 100. It's nothing but 0%. Loss is nothing but 0%. Okay. So 8.8.8. is entire question. It's a public DNS of the Google. So what about secondary DNS of the Google public related? 8.8.4.4. Okay. So now in this one, reply from meaning here, my request from my laptop, packet is going to Google server and Google is responding back with ICMP message. Whatever message we are sending, this ICMP message. That ICMP message, it's a type 0 message. There are different types of the messages ICMP will respond. That's why it is a service. It is not a port number. Okay. So that's why it is service. So here it will use messages, messaging purpose. So ICMP protocol will use for messages or services. So there are type 02, type 255 messages it will send or receive. Send or receive. So example, right now, whatever reply from, that is called type 0. Type 0 message is nothing but a reply back from server. So that is type 0. Now one more thing I will enter. Example. So ping 10.10.10.10. 10.10.10.10 is all, obviously it's a private IP address range. Yesterday already we discussed.
Yeah.
Now I am giving enter. So now you can see, so this IP address belongs to, in my organization level, I connected VPN already. So that's why it is responding back. So we can go and we can check some other IP address. 192.168.0.1, whether it is a public or private. 192.168.0.1.
Private, sir.
Yeah. So ping 192.168.0.1. So let's see whether, okay, I think my default gateway also this one only. Let's see. No, it's not. So now you can see, so requested timed out. What is meant by this one? Someone else IP address this one. From my laptop, 192.168.0.1, it is not reachable. Destination is unreachable now. Destination is unreachable. It's ICMP message. Requested timed out is nothing but destination is unreachable from my laptop. Okay. So in this scenario, type 3 it will use. Type 3. These two are inter questions. Type 3 as per ICMP message. Destination unreachable or requested timed out. So in such a way, we have type 0 to type 255. You no need to remember all these. So ICMP, it's a service. It is provide these messages basically. It will respond back. So it is not it will not use any port number. Normally ping will use ICMP protocol. ICMP is a part of ping. Okay. So in future we can discuss about ICMP flood attack. ICMP flood attack, that is also called the ping of death or ping flood attack. So attacker will use ping also to do some attacks. That is called ICMP flood or ping flood attack or ping of death, that we can see later. So that's all about overall ports and protocols. Okay. So yes, please.
So NFS also has a no port number, no sir?
NFS, it is a completely system, network file share system. It will use, as per my opinion, 20 and 21 only. Yeah.
Okay.
So good evening, sir.
Yes, Muhammad.
Yeah, is there any specific mechanism or scientific reason for giving one protocol having more than one port number, sir?
So basically it's a subset. So it's a subset sometimes. You can see SSL 443, HTTPS is 443, TLS is 443. So SSL TLS certificates, it will be used by HTTPS. So these are all subset, that's why. So normally it has same port number. Example, SCP, SFTP or FTP. So even SSH, all these are subsets basically. It's similar basically almost.
Okay,
That's why.
My question is, for example, if I take the DHCP or maybe NetBIOS, which is having 67 and 68, and NetBIOS having 137 to 139, why these three ports for single protocol?
Yeah, it will work on 137, it will work on 138, and it will work on 139 also. We can use any one of the thing, not three.
Okay.
So coming to DHCP side, 67 and 68. Example, 67 is your laptop and 68 from the server of the DHCP.
17 years
Clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, source and destination side, if same port number, no issue, no sir.
No issue.
Among the 67 and 68, if both are having 67 also, no issue.
No issues.
Okay.
No, 67 on your laptop side we have to open.
Yes, sir.
68 on the DHCP server side open. So even if it is too different, it will communicate.
Same also no issue.
Same it will not work out.
Yeah, that is the okay.
Yeah, same it will not work out. Yeah.
Okay.
So one question from my side.
Yeah.
For ranges in private IP address, can we use like CIDR format for interview perspective, like class A, we having like 10.0.0 and /8. So can we use that in such a scenario, like a CIDR format?
CIDR format is subnet mask. Basically, I did not explain out CIDR format.
Yeah.
So why? Because that is completely allocation of the IP address. That one will be taken care by network admin guys. Okay,
So
you
it's
no need to worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine, sir. Thank you, sir.
Clear, right? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
You're
clear.
welcome. Yeah. Any other?
Excuse me,
Yes,
sir.
please. Yes, please,
Sir,
Suprita.
yesterday you know shown the getMac and IP config commands.
Right.
Sir.
Right.
When I tried with my laptop, it is not working, sir. It is showing as the command is not recognized as internal or external command.
That means you entered a wrong typo error. So get without space MAC
Yes,
and
sir.
IP
config.
config. Yes, it has to work.
It is in Windows only, no, sir. You have shown.
Yeah, Windows only. Yes.
Not in Linux, no, sir.
No, not in Linux. Not my laptop is not Mac.
We have to go for start in that run, in that CMD command.
Yeah, exactly. That's correct. Yes. Yeah, you can ping me in personally, and I can share that whatever screenshot you are getting, I will validate.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other?
Sir,
Yes, please.
in the OSI layer, we use RARP and ARP and UDP and TCP. Is there port numbers for them also?
No, TCP and UDP, it will work on any port number. There is no specific, but combinations, if you are working on TCP and UDP, it's a DNS 53. So there is no specific port number for TCP and UDP.
What about ARP and
Same
RE?
thing, same thing. It's a basic address resolution. It is not making any port communication, correct? It is
Yes, sir.
only resoluting the address. So that's why there is no I mean port number. Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
you're welcome. It's a good question.
RK sir, one doubt. For port numbers, so how logically we can expect the questions from interviewer? Like in what basis they do ask for us, like so directly, so tell like TCPS and UDP like that. They do ask us like something different.
No, they will
strategy.
ask direct. It's a direct one only. So they will ask like, what is the HTTPS port number? What is SSL port number? What is RDP port number? Direct, straight away. There is no logic.
Okay, sir. For that, do we need to explain about importance also, or
No,
else
no, no,
like
it's not required. It's not required. Directly port number. So just for your understanding purpose, I explained about what is the usage and importance.
all right, sir. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. So whenever interviewer will ask like, what is the protocol along with port number? In that scenario, you can explain about only port number. Example, consider syslog port number. You have to say 514. There is no need to explain about what is the importance of syslog and so on. Because time is very limited, only 30 minutes, correct? So your roles and responsibilities, it will take approximate 3 to 4 minutes. Then one investigation will take maybe 5 to 7 minutes. One correlation rules, it will take another 5 minutes. Then couple of attacks they will ask. So almost time is very, very limited, right? So in that scenario, we no need to explain, and even interviewer also will not expect that particular importance or usage.
All right, sir. Thank you. Got it, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, guys, thank you so very much. And we'll continue tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.